Hello everyone, in RxJava free tutorial part 5. Today we are going to discuss Completable, which is the only one of the observable types which doesn't emit an item in case of successful operation. Actually, it can emit error in case of some exception and incomplete callback in case of successful operation. So the question arises where it can be used, in what kind of situations. Basically, it should be used in scenarios when you care only if operation is successful or not. For example, if you delete something from database. This is the one of the cases when completable can be used. Let's starting with declaring our completable. And first thing to note, as you can see, completable doesn't allow us to pass anything as a type parameter. This is because completable doesn't emit any items. Let's call it completable. And I'm going to create method which will create completable for us. Okay, and I will be using completable from action method, and from action method we will be passing action object. This is simply implementation of functional interface which is called, as you can see, action, and this comes from RxJava free package, and I will describe this action functional interface very shortly. And we'll create another method called delete item from db action. So what action really is? Basically, action is a representation of some operation in your application. It can be, for example, request to some service, or operation on your database, or performing some heavy calculation, etc, etc. Let's create our action, and as you can see, action is a basically interface which contains one method called run, and this run method is called when we subscribe to this completable which we are creating here. And in our case, we'll be simulating deleting item from the database. So as always, we will be simply printing something out to the console. Deleting item from database. So this is our simulation, this is our action which we pass here, and this action, as I said, will be called when we subscribe to this completable. So let's do that. I'm using this overload, and I'm creating new completable observer. So we have 3 callback functions. We'll be discussing on subscribe in some future videos because we don't use this so far, but it's very important to know what is going on here. But today let's focus on complete callback because this is what we are caring about. And okay, so here also let's print something like operation is complete. And now when we subscribe to that, firstly we expect that this will be printed because our operation will be run when we subscribe to this completable, and under the hood, when this operation is complete, onComplete will be called. So let's see the result. And yes, as you can see, firstly we have our deleting item from db action called, and then we have our operation is complete string printed to the console. I'll be not showing you how the onError works because I think that after my few last videos it should be quite straightforward, and I was supposed to create also material in this video about flowable, but I decided to move this to some other video because this topic I think must be discussed separately. And now in this video I will show you some summary of the things we were discussing through the few last videos, and I will give you a summary of the observable types like maybe single, completable, and where and when you can use it. So let's jump to this. Alright, so I prepared for you this fancy table which presents observable types we discussed so far. And let's start with summarizing observable type. Basically, if you don't know which one of these you should choose, you probably should go with the observable type. And you use that when you expect one or more items. The most used callbacks are onComplete and onNext. And here I'm also presenting some kind of examples. Basically, events which can be represented by observable, like mouse clicks, any kind of events for that matter, location updates, and much more. Then we have single, and you should choose single if you expect from some operation one and only one item. And example of that can be HTTP request result. You're making some request to the service and you expect one and only one response. Later we have maybe, and you should choose that when you expect one or no items. The most used callbacks are onSuccess and onComplete, and it can be, for example, represented by action like dbQuery. And what I mean is, imagine that you are making some call to your database query because you want to know if you have some kind of updates to your object, to your data. And when there is no update, simply onComplete callback is called. When there is an update, onSuccess callback is called, and your object, your data is passed to that callback. Completable I discussed already, so we'll not be describing that right now. And to summarize, technically you can use observable for any kind of scenarios, but because of reason I described just a few moments ago, you should choose single, maybe completable, observable, depending on the situation. Technically you can use observable for all kind of scenarios, but it's not recommended. You should be explicit when you are writing some kind of applications, programs, and you should choose the right tools for some particular kind of situation. Okay guys, that's all for today. As I said, in the next video we'll be discussing Flowable. For now, thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye.